Okay, we're going to go over some highlights of this race. It's the Field of Riches Cross, and you can see it's snowing. This is the first proper wet, muddy, snowing, cold race of the year. The race before this was a little bit cold and wet, but this is true, proper mud. So here you can see I'm coming in pretty hot. This guy comes in pretty hot too, slips out a little bit. And this is the whole thing about a wet course, right? Is that yeah, you might take. I protected my inside there because of the fact that it's the start, and you want to be, you don't want people to pass you. But like here, you can see I take the wide line because green grass is not slippery, so green is go, right? So in slippery races like that, it's even more important that yes, some situations the apex, in a dry race is going to be the fastest, but in a wet race like this, sometimes going the long way around a corner like this, yes, you can protect your inside like I'm doing here, but it's not always necessarily the fastest because if you slip out on some mud on the apex, then well, you're losing time, right? So that's going to be the highlight of this race, or the whole goal of this race, is just to be consistent, trying not to make any of those slip ups or limit them as much as possible, and then sometimes using technical wet sections to your advantage. And you're going to see what I mean here in a second. So Nate takes one of those advantage points, right? So he moves ahead of me here, and this downhill muddy section is one of those technical wet sections where if you are in front of somebody who could potentially mess up, you're going to be in a better spot than behind somebody who messes up. So I was a little conservative on this hill. I was definitely braking a lot more than maybe I needed to, just because I wanted to make sure I was staying safe and staying consistent and not slipping down that hill, because that was a dangerous hill, right? You fall down that or you slip down that, you could have a true mechanical and be done. But you can see I decided to put some effort here to get back up to the wheel, even though I do lose some time on that hill by being a little bit more conservative and keeping my efforts the way I want it. So this gravel, this hill, I just try to be a little bit more consistent with the power. I wasn't drilling it. You're going to see here Connor just absolutely flies by. He's drilling it. So this section here specifically, I was trying to keep a solid effort, but I wasn't just like going all out. And then I was using this downhill and the subsequent downhill as like my recovery section, even though these guys are drilling it. And so in this clip, this downhill section where I can just not pedal like all the rest of these guys and recover, I can keep some of my speed here. But in other clips, you're going to see that, other people were not going to, recovering there, and they were actually attacking, and I was losing time. So here we are. We're starting to lose some time on the two on the front, Connor and Nate there. So Elias is going to use one of those situations. Again, like I was saying earlier, he almost slips here, but he wants to get in front of us during this technical section. And that was a very smart move, because you're going to see here that being in front of somebody into this technical downhill kind of, you look at the sections ahead, that whole thing is really slippery. So if I'm stuck behind this guy here, and he's not going at the same speed I want, or he's taking the line that I want to take, then I'm at the disadvantage, right? Because I'm sitting behind him and I'm at his wheel. I try to make a pass here because I recognize I want to go faster, and he shuts the door on me. But that's the important part here, right? So being in front. Here's another situation. It's a long power stretch. I decided to put the effort in to pass, and so because we're coming up to that pinch point section of the mud, just like I was saying. Now, unfortunately, I was a little too close to Elias, and I think it kind of threw me off there, so I lose a little bit of time there. But that was another section where if you put down the power and got in front of someone in a slippery technical section, pinch point kind of thing, it was to your advantage. Now, Elias kind of sits out there for a little bit here on me, and I gradually pull it back. It wasn't too far gone, but you can see here Nate and Connor off the front. Elias is here, and again, taking the long way around in the green section is the smoothest here, and you can see again, I don't slip out, and therefore I kind of am able to stay ahead of Connor, or somebody who's behind me. I don't remember who. Yeah, this guy. Can't recall what his name was, but this guy, he passes us, and unfortunately here, because I was being a little bit more conservative on this downhill, those guys ended up making some more gaps on me, taking some more time back, and yeah, I put in a little effort here, but look at how far up the way they are. They're I'm fifth right now, and I keep some of the speed because I'm like, okay, don't break. But it's one of those sections where, like, if you slip up just like I did there, that's another couple seconds that you lose. So Connor here recognizes, okay, you slipped up, like, I'm gonna go. I decided I don't want him to get away from me, so I put in the effort here to sit back on his wheel. But eventually, I think he ends up pulling away and catches the rest of this group. So you can see here, I think some of that effort kind of started to have me fade power-wise. So again, you kind of got to figure out where you can take back time. So here you can see Nate and Connor off the front still, 2 more guys, and then including Connor and then Elias. And so I was just trying to be a consistent effort there. So now you can see, look at the different line choices that you can make when you don't have someone in front of you. It's a very, I kind of rail this section. Again, it's one of those situations where this is the slipperiest part of the course, and you can tell I wasn't having the best time there. So definitely the most, I was taking photos in the other races, and that was definitely the place most people were crashing. But, you know, if you consistently crash there, that means you're just going to lose time and lose time and lose time. So here again, we are on that power section. I'm going to put some effort to see if I can pull back a little bit of that time on Elias in front of me. I don't really catch him here, but I'm still trying to pull that group back as much as I possibly can. And so I pull a little bit of it back. This guy decides it's time to pull up, and I'm going to sit in his draft. I've been pretty okay with this the last race or two, where, you know, somebody's trying to pull away from me, and I try to catch right back up. I don't let him just, you know, if he catches me, I'm going to put in the effort to just hang on that wheel as much as possible, just like a crit, right? Stay in that draft. But I'm going to use that situation like I was telling you earlier. I want to be in front of this technical section, especially since I was, you know, braking a little bit more. I could, you know, keep that speed, and he would have to go at my speed instead of him flying it down that, you know, down that section, and then I lose some time on him. It was more like I was taking that at my pace, and he had to follow my pace. So that was kind of the takeaway there. Now we are last lap still, so this guy, he does pull away from me, and even though I do try to put this like sort of last ditch effort on this power stretch, just to like I did in the other clips, it just unfortunately was not enough to pull him back, and you know, this is the end of the race. So thanks for watching. That was the highlights for this race. We got 1 or 2 more highlights coming up, and yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.